because otherwise it was really just bizarre, beyond merely embarrassingly pathetic. I was at the pulley cables, which broad, versatile apparatus consists of two separate, identical twin, square bases that face each other like mirror images, and that are connected by an overhead crossbar roughly 8 feet off the ground. Each of the four faces of both bases is equipped with its own stack of adjustable weights attached to a pulley cord. I was at the further of these two bases from the mirror wall, using its interface, which pulley, in unison with the corresponding inner pulley of the opposite base, is used to do chest flies. But I was only utilizing the one side, chiseling 3 pairs of cleft lips into this ivory core, shredding a sexy salad out of stomach sinew, putting the fine in defined abs, and both the abs and the glorious in absolutely vainglorious. The other square base of the apparatus was open for use. The entire other square base of the apparatus was open for use, though. Yet, for some reason, this beige meatbag chooses to drop his half-unzipped gym bag full of powder dusted wraps and rolls of tape and plastic jars of various supplements, and to set up shop at the face of the base adjacent to my left, the one for lat pull-downs, with the small rectangular seat and the adjustable padded cylinders to secure down the legs by resting firmly horizontal atop the quadricep near the knee. I was in the midst of a very long set when they approached. Kneeling ab crunches, which maneuver requires standing upon the knees and facing down level with the floor. I like the single grip handle myself, bearing 30 to 35 pounds on the pulley, with the free hand gently gripping the current weight-bearing wrist, parallel to the crown of the head. Firmly grasping the handle, one drags the pulleyed weight slowly toward the floor. Switching hands, 25, 25, 25, 25, left, right, then right, left for the second set, then back to left, right, and so on, alternating the starting hand weekly if you want to get down to it, for 100 rep sets. Repeat 3 to 4 times, and which exercise, if done properly, is both painless to the knees and quickly formative to the midsection physique. Just know that the hands are the key to any abdomen workout. Abfocal, ab-specific, what have you. Know that the hands are the key to isolating your abs. Engage your hands. Focus on your hands as you work your abs down through the fingertips. Do not lose concentration of your hands. It is absolutely paramount that your hands be never slack. Doing reverse crunches, for instance, upon the ground, my hands are something like tarantulas, below the buttock, anchoring posture with the bottom palm and the distal most phalanges of each finger. During these kneel crunches of my present expiation, it's like I'm performing a hand workout, but using my abs to do it. For the proper focus is that the isolated hand sustain its firm grip of the pulleyed weight, instead that a less disciplined effort in the labor of toil should allow the hand's apathetic grasp and a maladaptive delegation of pulling stress to the wrist, elbow, and shoulder. As I was saying, though, I was engaged in one of these long sets when the two settled. Being that I was on my knees and facing the floor, I could, initially out of my periphery, discern only the gym bag that he dropped off on the ground, not 3 feet away from me, and that he had a partner, the leader did, who he also dropped off, to sojourn temporarily without him while he retired for a moment away, but who remained indistinct to me until I had completed the set. As soon as I stood back up on my feet, though, before I could even begin pacing around, depleted and respirating heavily, like as I normally would do, but just as soon upon my feet as I opened my eyes into the mirror, bam! Her eyes like a force already upon and fixed into mine, this sexy, dirty blonde bombshell. My head even gave a surprised little jolt backwards from the impact of her eyes suddenly collided with mine. But somehow it was like she was hypnotized, mesmerized, awestruck by surreal splendor. The face of her surrender like Bambi into the headlights. Her mouth, A mere slit open may as well have been a slack-jawed gaze, and by her composite stupefaction, she either marbled into the single most pleasing male countenance that she had ever yet seen, or she was dumbstruck, astounded by the face on the wanted poster. So boldly brazen, even audacious her stare, in fact, that she caused my second scanning impulse to then rotate quickly left and right, in case somehow it was me who was imposing some awkward circumstance, and just to confirm that she was indeed fixated on me, and that nobody else was stunned by the same hideous, profusely bleeding wound that might have thusly arrested or so appalled her attention, and the pain of which apparently I hadn't as yet began to feel. I returned my eyes, though, and hers had in no way yielded, nor at all were they deterred of her fascination with my face, by the brief, humble diversion that I feigned, but for obligation. So now it's me who's hypnotized. And I turned from her reflection in the mirror to face her directly, and I'm half expecting her to speak, half dumbfounded speechless myself, that we just sort of stare at each other from 5 feet away for like a second and a half, 2 seconds, during which it's like she's on the verge of speaking but doesn't. Suddenly then Meat Sack shows up, so we divert our eyes away. Our eyes, obliged. Not away, though, my eyes now just not directly upon her, nor did I shift my body, and when I checked back in with hers, her eyes too, off, but not away from me in my direction. So now she and I start dancing around each other's eyes, but mine are become more so something abrupt to them, beseeching, but like more bluntly, yet at the same time also without demand, or like I was calling bullshit between she and I, yet not like accusatory, but with some pulp of inquisition, nonetheless, like, you were this guy, then what was that just now in our stare, as though for him you had not a care. I quick forgot he was there, as while our eyes played truth or dare. Whatever. So she's now avoiding my eyes, as I spend another second trying to catch hers, yet neither of us has turned away. At the same time, Meat Sack, despite how dense this dimwit was, he's managed to somehow sense something amiss to the screaming context, or somehow, between the loud, fragrant scent of his own body spray, caught whiff of the pheromones that were pulsating between her and I. So Meat Sack, now he's involved. Some shifted glances later, another moment of even-numbered head turns between our three people, and Meathead conjugates, as Meathead cogitates, apparently, during which she still avoids my eyes until I've seen enough. So I'm polite. I turn halfway back onto my pulley cable, almost embarrassed for the guy, this sweaty meat sack. And as I do, I look at the mirror, but then again, bam, her eyes, again, directly into mine. This again causes my immediate turn from her reflection in the mirror to right back directly upon her, and she meets me there this time. So there we are again, our eyes locked, staring at each other, and I'm looking at her like, so are you two dating, or... Meat Sack, though, finally he's seen enough, and so suddenly he decides, apparently, that he's going to put his foot down. Now, I was listening to music with my headphones throughout the whole thing heretofore, probably somewhere less than three-quarters capacity. So, as my attention was on her, though it took a moment also to even register, I heard clearly his abrupt interjection. "All right!" Yet I thought he was getting her attention, so I hardly regarded his voice. Then only following her eyes did I even look at him. But he was talking to me, and by his tone, which I then just realized was emphasized, as though suddenly he thinks he's ready to start telling me where I'm suddenly not allowed to be putting my eyes. Oh, well, he would quickly regret that decision, let me tell you. I gotta put up with a lot of bullshit in this awful life of mine, and the Lord obligates that I patiently bear it all and without retaliation. But I'll be damned if I'm going to be told by some stupid hick that I'm not allowed to reciprocate when a pretty girl starts giving me your fuck me eyes. I'll whip out my big fat barbell right in front of her, right in front of his very eyes too, and work myself into a stiff, furious frenzy, staring her dead in the face all the while as I pump, and until the police show up finally to stop me, if I damn well please, and what the fuck is this dumb hick gonna do about it? I'm a hardy 160 to handle, with a low center of gravity, a broad, flawless descending V physique, and legs like a jackrabbit that I keep to an immaculate cardio condition. And I've been just waiting for one of these worthless setbacks to put hands on me so that I can make an example out of him, since violence is the only thing that these void savages understand. And in front of everyone, feed him whatever weights he's currently working with, or bash his face into whichever apparatus he's at, and this big dumb ape looks just about right to me. Anyway, once our eyes meet sacks in mine, and I realize he was barking at me, my face instantly transforms, and dramatically, and I tear my headphone from my left ear, my ear closest to him, and with a belligerent half squint of my immediately tense and hostile frowning brow, and my lip already bent upward at the left corner with snarl, I don't even bluntly ask, I harshly demand, "What did you just say to me?" What I meant, though, of course, and conveyed, was, "What the fuck did you just say to me?" Yet that's all it took, you notice. One mean, angry scowl. One nasty, truculent, threatening, deformed visage. One bellicose... Take a hint by now and break out the dictionary. But one bellicose look, denoting how willingly, how inclined I might be toward rearranging his handsome face for him, if he should want me to, and making him every bit as ugly as the rest of these objectionable, pug-fugly, set-back cleaners so prevalent around us both. If only he should be so inclined to continue his pursuit to become my personal piñata. I couldn't know, so you'd have to ask him which one, or in what order any combination of the three proceeded to next occur. God, these minutes go by so fast.